Hi, everyone, and welcome to our latest episode of Startups of Today for the Impact of Tomorrow. This is a special episode. This is, sad to say, the last of our series. And this time we wanted to do something different and special. We, as PwC, are very lucky that we not only work with startups and other players in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, we also work with established family businesses, which some people might consider are players in the startup ecosystem, given the amount of entrepreneurship they have and the investments they make in startups today. So using our relations with both sectors, I'm very happy to announce that we have two guests as usual for a very contrasting discussion around entrepreneurship from the perspective of a startup, but also from the perspective of entrepreneurship in an established family business. So without further ado, let me introduce my guests. So I'll start with Pedro. Pedro, you are the co-founder of My Care Force. So please, would you like to introduce yourself? And more importantly, would you like to tell our audiences, why did you found the company?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So as Abhijit was saying, I'm Pedro, I'm co-founder and CEO of My Care Force, and we are a marketplace platform that connects healthcare professionals to Shift. So basically, we optimize the whole staffing process from sourcing, going through the vetting, and then the payment processing. And we've started because we identified this flaw in the market, and we knew we could solve it with leveraging technology.
Thanks, Pedro. And my other guest is Larry. So, Larry, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us. And you come from an established family business, but you also have started your own business. So, Larry, please do tell our audiences about yourself and your journey.
Yeah, I'm third generation in our family business called Ensto Invest, which is 65-year-old electricity distribution product manufacturer. And then also I'm an entrepreneur on sport and wellness. And we, as third generation, we came on board 2018. So we have now five years of our ownership behind us for the third generation and going forward.
Thank you, Larry. So we frequently refer to the next generation in established family businesses as NextGen. So during this podcast episode, if we refer to NextGen, that's what we are referring to, just for the sake for our viewers. But Larry, maybe I'll start with the first question, which is around entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship. Let me start with you. A lot of people might assume that entrepreneurship means you have to start your own company. Is that something that you see maybe from your story, but also other next gen that you have met from established family businesses? How do people see that entrepreneurship, especially when you've grown up with an established family business around you?
I think it's mostly so that you need to be entrepreneurial. It doesn't mean straight that if you are an owner of an established family business that you have entrepreneurial skills or attitude, because I think that's mostly what you need to establish a business. And in established businesses, as family businesses are, normally it's not that hectic that entrepreneurship is. For timelining, you can have like a one week time in a startup to get your funding straight, and then you have a little bit lazy family business in that sense that decisions can be made in a longer perspective and it takes a longer time. So I think that entrepreneurship is something that in our, for example, our generation, we have 2 entrepreneurs in our 8 owners or the third generation owners today. Hopefully incoming new ones, but mostly that doesn't straight mean that if you get you're a next gen and you're in your family business, it doesn't mean that you're an entrepreneur. I see myself as an owner, an entrepreneur through my own ventures.
Great. So thanks for that. So Pedro, you have founded a company. In fact, you founded a few. my big question is, do you see a difference in people such as myself, right? Like I've not founded a company. I've only worked for other companies, and people such as yourself, who have founded companies. Is there someone would call a difference in people who have the entrepreneurial spirit versus people who don't?
Yeah, I think so. And because, I mean, entrepreneurs, I think we are, as I like to say, like good generalists. Like we are not specialists in a specific area. We have to wear multiple hats during at least the first stages of the startup. We need to know a bit of marketing, operations, like managing people, HR. So you have to be pretty well rounded. And I guess that's, I would say, one of the main differences when we compare with people that have like corporate careers or like follow the different path.
Oh, thanks. Laurie, if you come from an established family business and you want to found a new business, what would you say would be, the easy part? And what would you say would be the sort of challenge when you are a NextGen?
I think the main thing is that we have the responsibility for the established business, and then if we want to do our own ventures, how do we kind of manage this? And because they will somehow mix up in that sense in every scenario that I have seen. Somehow, but of course the funding and so on, it might be easier to acquire through the family business and the background. But as I told earlier, that it doesn't mean that you are an entrepreneur or you have the entrepreneurial skills that is needed for the entrepreneurial route. So we see a lot more kind of this, I just need to have my own venture type of businesses through the family business NextGens, which is also a good thing. But sometimes you should also know that you don't have the skills needed for that, and please focus on the family business or whatever path is better. So kind of the responsibility for the family business is one, and then you have the responsibility that you need to choose your own path which you want to take, and I have decided to go on the entrepreneurial way, which has not been so easy because we have in our family business very strict measurements for the investments, and we don't invest in our owners' own ventures. So that's also one point to understand, that many family businesses don't want to kind of cross paths with the ventures that the owners have and the ventures that the family business represents.
And what would you say, Larry? I mean, I'm sure you know of other family business, NextGen, and even people who've tried to set up their own ventures. If some of them don't succeed, what would be the key reasons for failure in those cases?
I think the attitude in the end is when you're born into a family business in the next generation, you might have it's not a bad thing that you might have it a little bit easier. You don't have the entrepreneurial, I must do things, I must accomplish something attitude, and I think that's sometimes. You can fail very fast if you have the wrong attitude towards the entrepreneurial. That it's easy if I have a lot of money and I can just build a business. But it's not just the money. It's the idea. It's the networks. It's everything involved. So kind of believing that the entrepreneurial way is as easy as the family business. Being a NextGen, I think I have seen many failures on that.
Okay. And talking of failures, Pedro, like from your personal experience or the people that you worked with or interacted with, what's the appetite for failure amongst founders? People who are very entrepreneurial, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, for founders, I guess you are used to fail more often than not, and I guess that's part of the game and part of the discovery. So, I mean, Larry was saying that you fail in next gen companies when you're not good at management or the funding, etc. But like at the startups, we are testing a lot of things, and we are trying to discover what customers want. So we are trying to discover. We are doing interviews, like understanding what they need in their daily life. So like, how will our product make the difference? So you are always failing because you are always testing like dozens of hypotheses every day or every week. And when you find the one that works, is the one you have to pursue. And that's when you know you have a startup that will be here for like a lot of years.
So let's say you have an idea and you want to found a business on that. As a founder, when you sort of see the idea failing, for example, how important do you feel is it to sort of stick to the idea and stay loyal to it, and how sort of important is to learn from the failure and actually perhaps move in a different direction?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is not my sentence, but everyone said like fall in love with the solution, not the idea. So if you want to solve a problem, and we all like we have a mission you want to achieve, but the path is not clear at this stage. So it kind of I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but I mean you have the means to which you achieve your the end is not the most important thing. The most important thing is actually solving and like delivering a product that people like and actually make a difference.
So that brings me to another sort of important aspect of entrepreneurship is like, why start up something new as a business? What would be the sort of potential reason? So I'm going to go back to you, Larry, on this first. Why do you think that NextGen sometimes start a new business? Is it really because they want to have something of their own? Is it something that they want to use to bring in new innovation to existing businesses? Is this for social impact? That they want to sort of make a legacy, make a change, solve an important societal problem. In your opinion, like what would be the sort of key drivers for NextGen?
I think the main, if we see the kind of studies on this, I think the main reason is that they want to build something of their own. They want to be seen as creators of something of their own, because we're normally seen as you got it so easy, you don't have nothing to you didn't need to do nothing, and the money is pouring from the walls. So the idea is that you want to build something own and create on top of that, and that's kind of the passion that drives. And you can decide that, do you want to give that to the family business, the passion, or do you want to give that for your own ventures, or mix them up somehow, as I have done? Because normally in family businesses it can be so that many of them want to go to a very operative level as an owner, and that sometimes you don't have that opportunity in a bigger business, established business. You need to leave the operative leaders to lead the business, and so you got some time to do your own ventures and not focus so much on the family business. So I think that's also one route why they decide to build their own. But I think for myself, I just wanted to do something good also on my behalf, and that was, I was always bullied in sports, so that's why I wanted to have an opportunity to help other people achieve their goals in sports.
Thanks for that, Larry. And Pedro, similar question. Why do founders found new companies rather than maybe join, existing ones? Is that having something of their own, solving an important problem, which exists either in business or in society? What is it really, or creating something new? Like, what would be, your opinion as the key driver?
Yeah, I think it's the thrill like of like building something new, something from scratch, and having that impact in society. And I mean, times are always changing and evolving. So now we talk a lot about AI. So every founder is trying to introduce AI in their businesses. Personally, like kind of like real world problems that I like to solve, and that's what we are solving with our company. And I mean, sometimes I have friends that say, "Look, I just wanted to have my own business to have loads of free time." And I mean, I don't want to say that this is like I don't want to spoil it, but that's not true. Like when you're starting your own business, you have to be like completely devoted to it. You have to motivate yourself to be resilient. So I think it's the journey of creating something new and the challenges that you face every day. You don't have one day like the other. So that's that roller coaster that you go through and all the learnings. I always say that we as founders, we learn 10 years or we grow 10 years in 2 years. And that challenge is what keeps me going.
Great. So I'm really sort of interested to hear like a few of the contrasting points from the two of you between the next gen and a sort of founder experience, but at the same time, a few similarities as well, which is quite interesting for me. But moving on, actually, a perfect segue onto the next topic that I wanted to discuss was a new technology, a new disruption, and there are new topics which come in our societies. Where we are today, we were discussing very different things 10, 20 years ago. And I would like to sort of take that as, does that affect in terms of, starting new ventures and entrepreneurship on both sides? Or is that something that you have to be very mindful of? And, perhaps you're starting a venture just to sort out the challenges that new technology and other things bring forth. So this time I'm going to start with you, Pedro. Like, what do entrepreneurs think, founders think about new technology, about new societal issues? Is that something that really plays in their mind, or are they very much focused on their initial idea?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as a founder, you have to be open minded. You have to. I mean, as I was saying before, like you are trying to understand what the market wants, what customers want. So you have to be aware of what's happening around you, what other ventures are starting, what other founders are doing, so that you can incorporate like new technology if that makes sense in your business. Because I mean, as a startup, you have to be like the latest with the latest technology, the latest trends. So I mean, of course, you have to understand what's happening around you, and that's actually an opportunity. Like as I was also saying, like the journey and the checking new things, no day like the other. So I think that new things that come up are like the gasoline that makes us continue and building new ventures, new things, and innovating.
Great. And Larry, would you see like new technology an opportunity, a headache to manage? How do you see it?
I think I have the entrepreneurial spirit in that sense that I love when things are progressing, going forward, and sometimes in family businesses we type to be the slowly moving or changing, but then when the world changes as fast as it is changing right now, I think you need to be interested. You need to be there to actually understand what's happening around you, because otherwise you don't have the business anymore if you don't kind of do so. Myself, I love the new technology, but it needs to be a mixture of the customer service and new technologies, because I think in some cases we kind of we lose the touch of the service that many needs, and that's something that I'm myself. I want to understand the new technologies and be involved in that, but I also want to make sure that we have for example, customer services in the future also, because I think that in the end we are here for each other as people, and the technology is just helping us through and making things easier, but that we don't lose ourselves in the technology. That's something that interests me also, because everybody is talking about it, but then we're losing kind of the grip of the service.
And would you say, as a NextGen who is a successful founder of a new venture, do you think that you are in a better position, perhaps, to have the new technology, but be able to integrate it into existing businesses and also keep the good parts of what's kept the business successful for a very long time? And compared to, like, what would be your advice for other NextGen who are not with their ventures? How could they bring in new technology still and new ideas into existing businesses?
I think innovation needs to be like constant. Doesn't mean if it's a family business or a new venture or any venture in that sense. You need to have innovation all the time. You need to see what's happening. You need to put together the new with the existing one. There's no like a easy way to say how it's done, but there is I see just opportunities. I would like to be a little bit faster also on the family business side, but then sometimes the breaks are coming, and then I need to go to my own venture, and I can do it maybe faster here and try and fail and then do it again if it doesn't work. And I think that's exciting from my perspective, because of course I need to involve 9 others in the family business, that it's not just my business alone. So
Sure. That brings me to one important point I wanted to discuss with the two of you, and that's the concept of legacy. So I'll start with you, Pedro. Someone had said to me once, which was, established family businesses were startups just a few generations ago, right? They've just managed the succession quite well. So as a founder, do you think of legacy is like, in your opinion, from your journey, but also the people that you've met along the way, are most founders interested in solving the problem and moving on to the next problem, moving from like one venture to another? Or a lot of them also thinking about the legacy they will leave behind in the company they have founded, or, the company sort of moving and becoming more long term?
So I think there are two completely different profiles. So the first one is the founder that is self-started, that's trying to create new things. And that founder, that profile is not prepared to be in a company for 10, 15 years and then pass it to the next generation. Because this founder has like a search profile. He's trying to find the product market fit. And when he finds it, it's not interesting anymore. It has to be a manager rather than this crazy founder and trying to convince the world that his idea is great. And that's why I think it's completely different. So what usually happens, and also VCs and everyone that's investing, what they're looking for is that type of founder that is finding the product market fit. When they find the product market fit, they scale it. And when they scale it, they will probably like substitute the CEO because their skills are not, or not the perfect for that time. Like it's a different profile to manage a 200, 250 people company than the ones that manage a 70 people company.
Okay, thanks. And Larry, then, speaking from the experience of, as you had said, some NextGen want to have their own story. They want to have their own venture. But legacy is important on both sides for them, for perhaps the established family business and continuing that for the next generation, but also perhaps their own venture. Like, how would you say they balance the two? Maybe from your own journey, because you do have a successful venture.
I think the legacy is one, but we need to remember that the world is changing pretty rapidly, and for example, we got to a point that we needed to do hard decisions right away when we became owners of our established family business, that we can handle this much products that we had. If we want to be the best in something, we need to make decisions also to focus on the right thing, and we needed to decide which is the right thing. But we ended up selling 1.5 years ago a little bit less than half of our business, which was the building system side, so the customer end products, and we focused solely on the electricity distribution products, and we saw that the future is there, and we can compete with the bigger players in the lighting business and junction boxes and so on. It's easier to focus on something and being the best in that. And I think also family businesses easily go so that they fall in love with their shares and what they're doing, that they don't kind of realize that the world has changed. What is the main core business that we're selling? Do we need to change that a bit? Do we need to focus on something to get better profitability to actually solve the problems that as us owners we want to solve? Because without profitability, you have nothing to solve, because you don't have no resources to solve them. So mainly kind of this sustainability and so on, it comes when you have profitability, then you can actually solve that type of problems in business. So I think that's mainly on the legacy side. I would say that, of course, it's always, and it has been a little stressful, because in Finland, I don't know, in the world also, it's used to be said that the first generation builds the business, the second keeps it as it is, and the third generation destroys the business. So I'm hopefully making sure that doesn't happen, and it's transferred to the fourth generation, which is growing also fast.
Great. So very interesting for me to know that even long-standing businesses have to make these very difficult decisions, important decisions for the sake of continuity and legacy. And on that, like, my final question to you, Pedro, like, what would you say when founders have, started a new business, they have tried to find or the right fit for a problem, connected that to the need in the market, they've solved it, and now it's time to move, either by their own choice or by the choice of the VCs. How's that feeling at that stage?
Well, that's a tough question, because I'm not at that stage yet. But what I always say is that, the company does not have to go with what I know, but I'm the one that needs to go with the company's growth. I'm trying to adapt my best. So we were 2, then we were 10 for quite some time. Now we are 18 and we are growing. So we are always learning, I guess. Knowing what are your strengths and your weaknesses and work on them are very important for you to grow as a manager and as a founder. And that's what I try to do. So I know we have to be chameleons. There are several stages within the company. You'll face different challenges, and we are going through many of them, like, for the first time. So what we are doing is trying to adapt, to learn, and do the best we can. And well, so far we have been successful, and I'm super, super, super excited for the next few months, and for the growth of the company.
Great, thank you. So on that note, I really enjoyed the discussion, just knowing the sort of different perspectives of NextGens and co-founders. I hope our viewers found this interesting as well. I would like to thank again the 2 panelists for coming in, sharing their stories and their perspectives. So as they say, all good things come to an end. And with that, I'm sad to announce our podcast series, Startups of Today for the Impact of Tomorrow, is ending with this episode. But to all our viewers who have joined us over the past year on this journey, and you have enjoyed our discussions, interactions, and perspectives with our various guests, I would say stay in touch. Follow us on our social media and go check out our website.
Copyright 2023 PwC. All rights reserved. PwC refers to the PwC network and/or one or more of its member firms, each of which is a separate legal entity. Please see www.pwc.com/structure for further details. This content is for general information purposes only and should not be used as a substitute for consultation with professional advisors.